Hi everybody and welcome to the London session update with myself, Kathleen Brooks, on Tuesday the 5th of March 2013. Well, it's been a bit of consolidation in the markets today. Remember, we had those big moves lower on Friday. What we've actually seen since then has been a little bit of recovery in the markets, particularly in euro dollar. That's managed to stay above that 130 handle. But we still don't look like we've got any medium-term directions. Likewise, stocks, they've moved higher. We've seen Italian, Spanish bond yields also move lower. So there is this risk-on tone to the markets. The dollar is slightly weaker. We've seen a very strong recovery in the pound, and I'm going to look at that in more detail going forward. But really, the markets are consolidating, we think, ahead of some big fundamental events coming up later this week, which is the ECB and the Bank of England meeting on Thursday, and then the non-farm payrolls on Friday out of the US. Let's for a start take a look at euro sterling. As you can see there, euro sterling really has had a bit of a bumpy road the last few days. This is